this episode of Anything But Bourbon, and it's a new playlist on Beer to Whiskey where we talk about Irish whiskeys and scotches and those sorts of things. I'm primarily a bourbon guy, so that's where my focus is, but I know some of you folks out there like other things, so we're going to do some of those as well. I'm your host, Russ Heaps, and sitting to my immediate left here is Beer and Whiskey's craft beer whisperer, Big John Richards, and he's come over to spend a couple hours with me and do a couple of these shoots because, number one, he likes to drink, and number two, he's got a much better palate than I have for these sorts of things. So he's always good to have sitting on these whiskey panels, even though his main focus is craft beer. Today we're going to, in our ongoing mission to spread the gospel of good taste, we're going to talk about what is a fairly new Irish whiskey called Writer's Tears. In this case, they do make a regular Irish whiskey. This is their double oaked Irish whiskey, and what that means is it's finished in both first American bourbon barrels, and then it's finished in French cognac barrels. So it's kind of a rich, different taste to it. It's a blended whiskey, but it's blended from a traditional pot-stilled Irish whiskey that's been triple distilled and then blended with a, I think, an unmalted whiskey. Anyway, you're looking at somewhere in the neighborhood of 55 to 60 bucks. It's 96 proof, which means it's got a little bit of a kick to it, more than you normally find in an average Irish whiskey. The distiller is the Walsh Whiskey Distillery, and it was founded in 1999, and this is one of the distilleries that has been born in this, what for Ireland is a huge resurgence of Irish whiskey distilleries. In the 1990s, it jumped from, or I think in the last decade, I misspoke, in the last decade or so, it's jumped from just 3 main distillers to 11. So in a little country like Ireland, that's kind of a big deal. This is their double oak. John, shall we give it a little shot?
Might as well.
I haven't given you a chance to say much of anything.
That's all right.
I feel like I'm hogging.
I'm saving up my jokes for later.
Okay, that's good. I can hardly wait.
Yeah, I almost want to say Cinnamon Toast Crunch. There's definitely some graham cracker in the back of that. That's not just Cinnamon Toast Crunch. That's neat. I like the way that goes together.
It's got an interesting nose on it, and that's one thing with Irish whiskeys that you don't find a lot. They're usually all kind of the same in terms of the nose on them. There's sort of just a flowery nose.
Oh, that's just as smooth as it can be. And there's a little bit of that dark fruit, that kind of dates or maybe figs or something right up front.
Yeah.
There's some spice on the finish there, all right up front. Some of that little bit perfumey spice, estery spice.
But I am getting some chocolate out of this too.
I am too, and I'm trying to figure out what it was because I keep getting hung up on Cinnamon Toast Crunch and graham crackers.
Right.
Whether it was vanilla or chocolate or something that was kind of creamy and sweet in the finish. Yeah, there's definitely some cocoa that pops out while I'm really concentrating on that flavor. There's that nice little burst of cocoa right in the middle.
It's got a really nice mouthfeel to it.
It does.
It coats your tongue.
Yep.
It's a long lasting.
It feels big, but it's not aggressive, not aggressively spicy, or it doesn't really burn heavy. But it still feels full on the palate.
Did you put a drop of water in yours last night?
Probably. Are you getting up to get water?
Yeah, I've got an eyedropper right over there.
Oh, solid. Remember, folks, completely unedited, shot effectively live.
Effectively, yeah.
All right, where were we?
Through the magic of video, an eyedropper has miraculously materialized here for us, and I'm just going to put a drop or two right in here, and see how that might
Yep.
affect things.
Going with 3 because I'm ornery.
Well, you're a little bigger than I am too.
That's probably right. That's how that works. I can smell even more of the vanilla of the graham cracker. Just the smell changes when you put that little bit of water in there too. Guys, this is effective. This is what professional tasters, which we are not, do to create what they call a tasting strength if it's a little higher proofed. If memory serves me correctly, they're shooting for something like 33% to get the tasting strength or something along those lines. And dropping a little bit of water into your whiskey is a great way to knock the harsh edge off the booze and let the flavors really pop in your experience.
Right. And I misspoke earlier. What a surprise. The proof is actually 92. It's 46 ABV, 46% ABV, 92 proof. So I think I said it was 96. I had my digits confused. It happens.
I wasn't paying attention, obviously. Yeah, it gets a good bit more caramelly when you put that in there.
And it smooths it out
It
a
does.
whole lot.
Yeah, that tiny, tiny amount of water is perfect to knock that edge off.
Yep.
Yeah, that bready kind of graham cracker flavor really lingers on the finish now, too.
I am impressed by how long the finish is on this. This is a long.
Well, it just sits there and lingers with you. You can sip it, set it down, and, some minutes later, I'm still developing flavors on my palate. This is really well put together.
Writer's Tears, and it's the name of it is sort of paying an homage to the Irish authors and the less than cheery books that they write.
That's pretty fair.
Yeah.
I was going to ask about that, if we had any indication of why they called it that.
Yeah, that's the background for the name.
Well, this is wonderful. Shall we send those people on their way? Anything else they need to know?
I think so. There's nothing that I know that they should know.
You should go enjoy some of this, guys.
Yes.
It's pretty wonderful.
Yes, and we're actually shooting this in mid-February, so St. Patty's Day is just kind of around the corner. So hop out there and grab you something.
That's right.
And with that,
Here's to it. Sláinte.
Sláinte, Texas Miss Lily. See you next time.